Welcome to Modern Day Economics. Today we're going to talk a little bit about something different. Not necessarily economic news, but I get a lot of questions about what to do if there are times of economic uncertainty, what to do if there are difficult financial times where there are layoffs going on and other situations and news that may seem a little bit negative. And believe it or not, I'm not going to recommend any kind of investment that I would stay away from any get rich quick scheme or anything that may sound to be too good to be true. Most things that sound too good to be true typically are too good to be true. What I'm going to talk about today is not an investment. It is, well, you could categorize it as an investment in yourself, but not an investment understood in financial terms in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to talk today about networking. So, why is networking important? Well, networking is something that affects and can improve the life of an average individual, of an everyday family. You don't have to be a multimillionaire. You don't have to be um, anyone that has access to some sort of special investment. You can just be a student. You can just be a man or woman with a job that really just wants to either improve their career or really just wants to be able to get access to that dream job or find a job if you've just been laid off. If we do, in fact, go into recession, if things do actually get tough, this is something that is very important to keep in mind because at the end of the day, you are only as strong as your network. No one goes at this alone. Anyone who has a very top end C suite important job didn't make that on their own necessarily for the most part. So take this into consideration. You are only as strong as your network. And there's sayings out there, there's people that say your network is your net worth. And I don't know how necessarily it is your net worth, but there is some truth to these kinds of sentiments because you will only have access to certain positions through networking. Now, okay, this is very nice. We can talk about networking all day long. We can talk about how important it is, and I can try to hype you up about networking. But wait a minute, how do I network? How do I go about networking? Well, that is actually very simple. And we'll go more into this in future episodes. But really, what I want you to take away from today is don't be afraid to reach out to somebody, regardless of their position, regardless of how important you might think that they are, regardless of how much you consider them to be above you in the food chain. Don't be afraid to reach out. And the reason being, we all eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? For the most part. These people are humans too, right? They have their own insecurities, they have their own problems, just like anybody else. And at the end of the day, a lot of people in very important jobs, this might sound strange, but they don't typically get to feel special, right? I had a mentor once that told me about this when I was much younger, and at first I didn't believe them, but you would be surprised the people that will be willing to talk to you if you simply just ask. If you simply just ask. If you simply just send somebody an email and say, hey, I'd love to learn more about your career. I'd love to learn more about your track record and career and experience and expertise in this certain field. Would you be able to carve out 30 minutes to connect, to grab coffee in order to learn more about your experience and expertise in this subject, right? That will get you a lot more doors open than you can imagine. right? Especially position it as you're not trying to necessarily sell them something, or you're not necessarily trying to gain something from them, but just learn. That should be your approach. Your approach should be to learn, and then build those ongoing relationships. And this may sound ridiculous. This may sound strange, but you would be surprised the value of a $2 coffee, how far that will get you. You would be surprised if you are able to put yourself in the position where you get in front of the people in positions where you want to be, and you find out exactly what they did to get there, and you become a part of that circle. If you can do anything to add value to them, certainly it's a positive to add value before you ask for it. That is certainly a positive as well. But if you are able to understand from the people that are already there what is needed to get to that position, and also build those relationships so that when those opportunities do come up, you're the first person to know. And maybe that's not necessarily um, being told, hey, so and so, there's going to be this opportunity. I want to make you aware. Maybe you just find out that someone in a position that you would like to have just resigned. Maybe you just find out that. And that's valuable information right there. So take this into consideration, especially in these times. There's no guarantee that we will go into recession, but as we all know, the first quarter of GDP was negative. The numbers for GDP, the first numbers come out this week, and some people say that we may have a negative GDP number. So who knows? Who knows? If we do go into recession, this may be very valuable information to consider. So I would urge you to at least consider it, take it, give it some thought. Some say the advice is worth what you pay for it, as they say. But at least give it some consideration, because you would be surprised of the value of a $2 coffee.